back in '03, you were selected as one of People Magazine's 50 most beautiful people. You and Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise. Wow.
Yeah. You were on that list too, weren't you?
I think further down. Yeah, way further down.
I don't know. I don't know how they came up with that list, but hey, I'll take it. If they're going to throw me in there, I'll take it.
Pierre takes second without a throw. It is his 4th stolen base today. That is a new career high for Juan Pierre. 2nd and 3rd.
Come on, base hit.
The inning started with the Bynum leadoff triple, but 2 groundouts later, the Cubs still have not gotten that extra run. They lead by 1. This game has kind of been like an episode of 24, a nail biter.
It is a nail biter.
Pitch, a strike. 1-1 on Tony Womack.
Little base hit, that's all we needed, huh?
Outside. Well, you threw out the first pitch today, which he did last year against the Diamondbacks. Nice form.
Yeah. You didn't even have an arc in it. You look relieved.
I was relieved.
To short, and Everett will throw out Tony Womack. Carlos Bernard, pleasure to meet you, and best of luck with everything coming up, and keep that Cubs mojo going in LA, okay?
Real pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, 2-1 Cubs. We go to the 8th.
Brewers at 120. The first 6,000 children 13 and under will receive an exclusive Chicago Cubs Lend the Bear from Build-A-Bear Workshop. Compliments of Bank of America. For more information, visit Cubs.com. That's just beautiful.
Not going to make that list, the 50 most beautiful, but 2-1. So we're in the 8th inning. And it's Bob Howery working against Chris Burke. Well, you hope that lack of execution doesn't come back to haunt the Cubs. They had a runner at third with no outs and could not get Bynum to the plate. They still lead by a run. On the fastball that missed. Berkman and Lane after Burke. Pitch. 1-2.
Another very solid outing from Carlos Zambrano today. Gave up only 5 base hits, just the 1 run. And in my eyes, most importantly, only walked 2 batters. 1 in the first inning, 1 in the 3rd inning. Neither one came around to do any damage. Was able to keep his pitch count manageable in this ball game today and pitched effectively through 7.
107 pitches, 68 were strikes. Into left and a base hit. Third time the last 4 innings the Astros have put the leadoff man on. Howery worked a 1-2-3-8 in the ball game last night. He was up the leadoff single here today.
There's a little floater into left field. Burke pulled his hands in close to his body. Looked like he might have hit that off the end of the bat a little bit. Freddie Bynum, as usual, playing very deep in left field. Feels much more comfortable coming in on the ball than going back. And unfortunately, some of those little humpbackers are going to drop in front.
Lance Berkman tied for second in the National League with 56 RBIs. Howery trying to be that bridge between Zambrano and Dempster. Check swing by Berkman, and Lance Barksdale said he did not go far enough for a swing. You be the judge.
Pretty good pitch to begin with. I think Berkman was able to check at least with the naked eye. Oh, I don't know. That got out there a lot further than I thought it did. Question the location of the pitch. Looked like a pretty good pitch from Bob Howery.
Three and one. Another base hit. First and second. So the Astros have something brewing here in the 8th inning. 2 on, no outs. You wouldn't think a guy like Lane would be bunting, but we'll see.
He has 2 sack bunts on the season, and with Preston Wilson waiting in the on-deck circle along with the veteran Brad Ausmus, it wouldn't surprise me to see Lane try to put down a sack bunt right here. And Michael Barrett's going to call a powwow of the Cubs infield out here on the mound to make sure they all know exactly what they're going to do if Lane does try to bunt. Personally, I think in this situation you have to expect bunt and be ready to react to anything else. You don't want to get caught by surprise by a sacrifice bunt and end up with the bases loaded, nobody out. Ramirez drawn in a couple steps in front of the bag at third. Todd Walker a couple steps in front of the bag at first.
Not showing bunt at all. The Astros, of course, have options here, and that's the situation you like to be in. So Phil Garner can choose to have a guy who has some power swing away. The 1-0 and he does swing away. And Juan Pierre will come in and make the catch. So that's a first out here in the 8th. Novoa throwing hard, getting ready in the Cubs pen. Big out for Bob Howery, and he'll face Preston Wilson now. Wilson's had a big couple of weeks against the Cubs. He has 11 hits. He's 11 for 22, so hitting .500 this year against the Cubs. Outside corner strike. Well, sometimes, Bob, you have those days where it seems like every pitcher just works the corners. We've had pitchers be maybe not quite pleased with some of the calls. We've had some hitters take a quick look back at the home plate umpire. A lot of close ones today. I guess when pitchers are pitching well, they're going to be near the strike zone, right?
I was just about to say that. I think it's more a reflection of the kind of pitching we've seen in this ball game. When the guys on the mound have their good command, they're not going to throw many pitches down the middle of the plate. They're going to be around the corners, and that's when it really puts the pressure on that home plate umpire, and his strike zone comes into play during the course of a ball game.
Swing and a miss. Wilson can be an all or nothing type hitter. Just sick power, but he will strike out. Bounce to Walker. The out not recorded at second, as Ronnie was pulled off the bag by the throw, and they're loaded. A fielder's choice for Wilson, an error on Walker. Ooh.
Oh boy, very close out there. Looked like Ronnie still had the right toe on the bag. Take a look at the pitch sequence. Fastball outside corner, a little bit further outside, another one right on the corner, and then the fourth pitch of the sequence, another fastball out on that outside corner. A Midas pitch sequence. Bob Howery to Preston Wilson. Obviously Bob was just going to stay away from Preston Wilson's power right there, force him to hit the ball the other way, and he did.
Bases loaded, one out. Cubs want a double play. A very close play at second. The Dale Scott ruling that Cedeno's foot was not on the bag. Meanwhile, 2-0.
Nice play by Walker to get to the ball, but his throw to second, in the eyes of second base umpire Dale Scott, pulled Ronnie off the bag. We'll get a look at it from a different angle. Ball in glove, foot on bag.
Yep. And a base hit to right. Tie game. Astros now try to take the lead, and the throw will be late. So with one swing, Brad Ausmus gives the Astros a 3-2 advantage, their first lead today.
Steady diet of fastballs on the outside part of the plate to everybody that Bob Howery has faced so far in this ball game, and a veteran hitter like Brad Ausmus, who's very observant. He's watching the pitch sequence from the bench and from the on deck circle, and just decided to go with the pitch into right field for a base hit.
First and second, 2 in. We'll never know what would have changed, if anything, had that out been recorded. Tough error for Todd Walker. A replay indicated that there was an out. It's not how it went. And then Ausmus took advantage and singled home 2. The tying run and the go-ahead run. And he's still not out of the woods in this inning. Foul territory and no room for Walker. He has a sign from Barrett. Here he comes. Another one right side and out of play. Boy, what games like this will do is it makes you think about all those little things. Not getting that runner in the 7th inning. Not getting that out at second base, even though the Cubs appeared to get the out. In tight ones like this, the little things become big. Throws from the outfield, popped up, infield fly rule. Cedeno catches. And with the Cubs' inability to hit the long ball, they're going to be involved in their share of games like this. So Palmeiro pinch hits, and the Cubs offensively have 6 outs to work with. And right now trailing for the first time today.
Back in the 3rd inning, Juan Pierre led off with a single, stole second base, and then the 2, 3, 4 hitters went down in order without advancing him any further. And you're right, we talked about it a little bit with Rick Sutcliffe last night. The way the Cubs are right now, personnel wise, they really have very little margin for error. They need to play flawless baseball, eliminate the mistakes. We just don't have enough thump in the middle of that lineup to overcome those kind of mistakes. A 3-run home run is the great equalizer. You can get away with some mistakes from time to time if you've got a couple guys in your lineup that can hit the ball out on Waveland Avenue every now and again.
Palmeiro makes a lot of contact among active players. He's 3rd. The lowest career percentage of swings that miss.
So we just saw a rarity right there.
Yep. Juan Pierre, David Eckstein ahead of him. That's it. Palmeiro at 7.6%. That's how much he swings and misses. Pierre 6.7. Eckstein at 7%. Pretty quiet in the ballpark right now. 40,236. Called strike 3. That's the 3rd out. But Ausmus with a 2-run single, giving the Astros a 3-2 edge. Mark, it's rally cap time as the Cubs are behind for the first time today. 3-2 here in the 8th. Chad Qualls pitches to Michael Barrett. Brad Ausmus with a big 2-run single. Ball 1 as we start the last of the 8th. Kick and the pitch is inside. The runs Howery gave up, 1 earned, 1 unearned because of the error earlier on the throw to second by Todd Walker. Chad Qualls made his big league debut in 2004, became the first Astro ever with a last name beginning with the letter Q. Long run for Wilson. He won't get to it. Leadoff hit. Tying run is on base.
Well, Dusty might have to think about a pinch runner right here for Michael Barrett. Michael has very gamely played on here after tweaking something in his first at bat of the ball game, but he's not running as good as he normally does. Very important run in the ball game right there, trailing by 1.
Ball 1 on Todd Walker. He has 2 hits and 3 tries. One of the hits a double in the 6th. Good hitters count, and Ausmus that with Qualls.
Once again, we talked about it earlier in the ball game. Not so much what specific pitch you look for, but the location that you look for a pitch. Chad Qualls has that power sinker. He's looking to get a ground ball off the bat of Todd Walker right here and hopefully get a double play for the Astros. Walker has to lay off that sinker from the middle of the thighs on down.
Lefty is there. The right-hander is Dempster. 2-0 pitch. Walker. It's a double play ball. And 2 down. Hit it hard, but right at the second baseman, Chris Burke. Another big double play the last couple of days in this series.
Well, that's that sinker. Ends up down below the knees. By the time you make contact with the ball, there's only one place you can hit it, and that's on the ground. Unfortunately, hit it hard, but right at the second baseman.
Maybe she was at the museum last week.
I hope she's just not wearing that because she thinks it's a good look.
Toward third, charged by Lamb, and he gets the out. Promising start, not a great finish to the inning. We're going to go to the 9th. It's 3-2. Stanley's Garage World Cubs upcoming schedule. Interleague play resumes tomorrow. Detroit in for 3, and then the Cubs hit the road. It'll be DH time once again. 3 in Cleveland and 3 in Minnesota. The Cubs seemingly have a built-in DH in Phil Nevin, who was doing it with Texas before he got traded. And when Detroit comes in tomorrow, it'll be the first time this year the Tigers will be without the designated hitter. One of the issues they've had is Craig Monroe battling a bad ankle, and he's been DHing, but he won't be able to do that this weekend. So it's Scott Air here in the 9th, top of the order for Houston. Taveras without a hit. He did pick up an RBI, the 6-3 ground out in the 5th. That was the Astros' first run. Base hit on the broken back. We've seen that many times.
Ramos with a couple steps and a dive after the ball, then has to pull up short to avoid the bat. Here with a little cut fastball inside, just gets right in on the hands of Taveras, shatters that bat.
Pitch from Air, and a breaking ball missed as Lamb showed bunt. Lamb's trying to extend the hitting streak. It's at 6. Trying to get it to 7. Right now he's trying to move that runner to second.
Taveras is a guy with enough speed to turn loose over there at first base if Phil Garner thinks he can get a jump against the left-handed Scott Air. You could use the batter to bunt him up to third base should he steal the bag successfully, but it looks like they're going to continue to play it straight up. Have Lamb try to put down a sac bunt.
One is bunted toward third, but it is foul. So if they take the bunt sign off, Lamb will try to get that hit.
Good straight steal count should the Astros decide to go that route. 1 and 2, generally a breaking ball count, or at least you anticipate a breaking ball from a left-handed pitcher to a left-handed hitter.
Last year Mike Lamb hit just .236, but had his best month when it counted the most. From September 1st on, he hit .325 with 5 home runs. That helped the Astros take the wild card. Then hit 3 out of the park in the postseason. And off to a great start this year. The 1-2 pitch is hit in the air, foul. Milestone coming up for Scott Air. He is 1 strikeout away from 400 in his career. There's a closer for the Astros. He got the save last night. The 17th of the year. Astros able to get to the strength of the Cubs, their bullpen. Getting 2 off Bob Howery, 1 unearned in the 8th inning. Boy, it is so quiet here at Wrigley. Time called. Ball bounced out of the bullpen. Not many have left, but everybody's silenced by the Astros in the 8th inning when they got those 2 runs.
Well, this had been one of those kind of ball games where there just wasn't a lot to jump up and cheer about. Very subtle changes in the game. I mean, unless you're a big fan of the stolen base. There's really been a lot of offense in this game. Juan Pierre has stolen a base every time he's reached in this ball game.
Cubs have definitely scattered their 8 hits. They've had only 1 inning with more than 1 hit. They did get the leadoff homer from Jones early. Cedeno and Ramirez coming over. Everybody's scattering, and good effort, but Ronnie couldn't come up with it near the tarp. Got a lot of bodies down there. Getting Novoa ready in the bullpen.
And the wind just continued to push that ball further and further away from Ronnie. Goes over there, tries to make the basket catch right up against the tarp. Just can't quite get there in time. Fortunately, everybody comes off the tarp okay. You're always concerned about that. Running full speed, looking straight up in the air, running down the crown of the field a little bit towards that area. Looks like everybody's okay.
Long at bat. Michael will scoot out to the mound and chat with his battery mate. Well, the Cardinals held on and beat the Pirates 6-5. Mark Mulder with the win over Victor Santos. Jason Isringhausen with his 22nd save. Cubs began the day 12 out in the division and in 5th place and only a game ahead of the 6th place Pirates. The Pirates lost. It's Pierre out at center. That's the first out here in the ninth. Took a while, but eventually Air got Lamb, and now he'll go after Chris Burke. Hey, Cub fans, do you want to hit the links with your favorite Cub broadcasters? Visit ComcastSportsNet.com. That's ComcastSportsNet.com. Look for Swinging Away with Len and Bob. Enter to win a chance to play 18 holes of golf with us at the beautiful Glen Club, courtesy of the Chicago District Golf Association. Tavares still at first, 1 out, and Air steps off. Scott has been with the White Sox, Blue Jays, Giants, and now the Cubs. Used to be a starter, now a short reliever. 7th and 8th inning guy. Cubs signed him to a 3-year free agent contract in November. In the dirt, good, smothered by Barrett.
Once again, not knowing exactly what it is that Michael Barrett felt in that first at bat of the ball game, you got to believe he's going to be real sore tomorrow. He's done a nice job behind the plate today, moving around. You know he's in some manner of discomfort back there today, but has called and caught a good ball game.
Caught the edge. Scott Air last year led the major leagues with 86 appearances. The guy leading the National League currently is Solomon Torres with 40 appearances already for Pittsburgh. Air making his 32nd appearance of the year. The 3-1 pitch on the way, and that's a walk. So the Astros with runners at first and second, and it's Lance Berkman turning around and batting from the right side.
It's for a higher average from the right side of the plate, 340 as opposed to 301 as a left-handed hitter, but 15 of his 18 home runs have come as a lefty, so Dusty definitely wants to keep him on this side of the plate.
A tough no decision for Carlos Zambrano today. 1 run in 7 innings. He will not figure in the decision. Fernando Nieve with 5 2/3 allowed 2 runs. He'll get a no decision as well.
This is probably as much as we've seen Scott Air struggle with his command. Normally he is pinpoint, either hits that corner or misses in his favor, but really struggling to find the strike zone here today. Second all change with 1 pitch. The ground ball right at somebody in the infield. Get his team back in that dugout swinging the bats.
It was a long top of the 8th, and again here in the 9th. Two guys who normally don't struggle, but Howery threw 29 pitches. Scott Air is getting close to 20. Very good speed on the bases. Taveras and Burke. 1-1. Fouled off 1 and 2. Day games the rest of the weekend. 1:20 tomorrow and Sunday. We'll have Saturday's game here on Comcast Sportsnet. 3 o'clock Central Time start. Right-hander Justin Verlander against Carlos Marmol. Marmol will make his 2nd big league start. He got a win on Sunday in Cincy. So he'll work on an extra day of rest. Verlander's 7-4 with a 3.32. Tigers pitch very, very well. By a wide margin, they're leading the American League in an earned run average. They're the only team with an earned run average that's under 4. 2-2. Well, these are tough innings for the defense.
I was just thinking the same thing. You know, you don't mean to, but subconsciously you end up rocking back on your heels a little bit. You're watching pitch after pitch either fouled out of play or out of the strike zone.
Berkman strikes out, number 400 for Scott Air. And he'll try to get out of this inning with no damage, facing Jason Lane.
Good hard slider that time from Scott Air, down in the dirt. Talked about Berkman's two different swings from the left side and the right side. A good high ball hitter from the right side of the plate. That time Air got him to chase a breaking ball in the dirt.
So it'll be Novoa to try to get out of this inning. Ford called to the pen. Houston 3, Cubs 2. We're in the ninth. Here's Roberto Novoa. Second appearance in the series. We saw him in the 8th Tuesday night. Gave up a hit, no runs. Facing Jason Lane. Taveras at second. Burke is at first. High fly. But Pierre with a beat on it. Glasses flipped down. Third out recorded. Novoa warmed up a lot the last couple of innings. Through one pitch, got the final out. Jones leads off the bottom of the ninth. That's our Nissan drive of the game. Second run for the Cubs as Jock Jones led off the bottom of the second with his 12th home run of the year. That made it 2-0. The Cubs have not scored since. And Jock's going to lead off the 9th inning as the Cubs trail by a run. Brad Lidge came on, preserved a Houston 1-run win last night. They'll try to do the same here this afternoon. 5-4 was the final in game 2. Right now it's 3-2.
His 1-2-3 inning of work in the ball game last night. Lidge struck out Matt Merton looking. He got Ronnie Cedeno to pop up to second base and then struck out John Mabry to end the ball game.